Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video, and then I'll go back and talk about things in the video and things that I think were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, I am Lieutenant Craig Smith with the Austin Police Department, here to provide a briefing on the critical incident that occurred on April 9, 2021, when two Austin Police Department officers were involved in a critical incident in Northeast Austin in the 6300 block of East US Highway 290 on the westbound frontage road. Transparency and accountability are key to our ability to serve the Austin community, so we will provide an account of this incident and additional context to help you understand the chain of events. This incident involved two officers from the Austin Police Department, Officer John Reardon and Officer Kingsley Kong. During this incident, Officer Reardon was shot and seriously injured by Mr. Gregorio Ochoa Sarmiento. Officers returned gunfire and shot Mr. Sarmiento, who also sustained serious injuries. At 12:02 a.m., Austin 911 Communications received a call from a male victim who advised the dispatcher he was being shot at with a gun, but the call disconnected.
Austin 911, do you need police, fire, EMS, or mental health services?
Chill, bro. Hello, hi. I'm getting shot at with a gun right now. Hello?
Are you driving? Are you driving?
At 12:03 a.m., Officer Reardon and Officer Kong, working together as a single patrol unit, were assigned to the call. The officers wore Austin Police Department issued uniforms with protective vests and patches reading the word police. At this time, Austin 911 Communications received a second call from the same male victim. The caller restated that he was being shot at and chased while he was driving. The victim began following Mr. Sarmiento and provided a location, vehicle description, and license plate number.
Austin 911, do you need police, fire, EMS, or mental health services?
Well, I'm not sure. I just got shot at by some dude on the road, for no reason whatsoever.
Where is this?
I'm in South Austin, off of William Cannon, and
what is the nearest cross street?
Atkinson. I mean, I'm moving. He chased me down and was just shooting me.
You know what kind of vehicle he was in?
Yeah, he was in a Dodge Ram, I believe.
What color?
Yeah, I mean...
What color is that truck?
Sorry?
What color is that truck?
It is... It's like a white truck, silver. Let's see. I'm getting his license plate now.
Okay.
His license plate is... And I am at 35 US 290 and Caladad, he's driving a Dodge. He's driving a Dodge SLT and he just shot fired at me.
Okay, so what is your name? Are you wanting to meet with the officers to check the area for the truck?
No, I'm right behind them right now, to be honest.
Okay, you're not intentionally following them, are you?
Yeah, I mean, at this point I am. I had to get his license plate. He's driving a Dodge.
Okay, well, we've got the license plate, okay? Well, I'm going to let my officers in the area know, and we're going to look around for him, okay?
Fantastic.
All right, sir.
At 12:07 a.m., the same victim contacted Austin 911 Communications a third time and stated he was still being chased and shot at. The victim gave his location to dispatch again. While he was on the phone with dispatch, the victim saw Officers Reardon and Kong and pointed the officers in the direction of Mr. Sarmiento's vehicle. At 12:07 a.m., Officer Reardon said on the police radio that he had located the suspect vehicle and was following behind it on the westbound lanes of Highway 290. As the officers followed behind Mr. Sarmiento's vehicle, Mr. Sarmiento stopped his vehicle, exited, and immediately fired shots toward Officers Reardon and Kong. As Officers Reardon exited the patrol vehicle, he was struck by gunfire. The officers returned Mr. Sarmiento's gunfire, striking him multiple times. At 12:08, Officer Kong announced over the radio, "Shots fired, shots taken."
Suspect in your car. 80928. That's it? Okay. 22. That's him? Okay. 22, that was the complainant. We're going after the suspect right now. Turning onto 290 westbound. Shots fired. I think they got me in the foot.
He's up there.
That's it? Okay. 22, that was the complainant. We're going after the suspect right now. Turning onto 290 westbound.
Oh, there. Oh, there. Shots fired, shots taken. Start EMS and the supervisor.
At 12:14, additional responding officers secured the scene. Officers rendered emergency aid to Mr. Sarmiento and Officer Reardon until EMS and the Austin Fire Department arrived. Mr. Sarmiento was transported by EMS to the hospital with serious injuries. Officer Reardon was transported in a patrol vehicle to the hospital with serious injuries. Mr. Sarmiento was injured from multiple gunshots. Officer Reardon was shot once. Officer Kong was not injured during the incident. Investigators located 2 firearms on scene near Mr. Sarmiento. Mr. Gregorio Ochoa Sarmiento was arrested and he is currently in custody awaiting trial. He has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts, and attempted capital murder of a peace officer in Travis County. An internal investigation is being conducted by APD's Internal Affairs Unit with monitoring from the Office of Police Oversight. Also, a criminal investigation is being conducted by APD's Special Investigations Unit and the Travis County District Attorney's Office. At the time of the incident, Officer John Reardon had been with the department for 2.5 years. Officer Kingsley Kong had been with the department for 2 years. Both officers were assigned to the patrol division. These officers were initially placed on paid administrative leave in accordance with APD policy. Officer Kong has since returned to full duty. Officer Reardon remains on limited duty due to the injuries he sustained during this incident. To learn more, visit our website.
All right. And hit pause, drop that volume. So before I even talk about the shooting itself, the victim here, I think, put himself at a lot of unnecessary risk when he decided to chase this guy down. Now, it doesn't explain what all started this incident. I suspect that this is possibly a road rage kind of incident. Perhaps this victim really pissed this other person off while they were driving, and this other person, um, being as hot headed as they are, decided to shoot at this person and take his anger out. I don't know that for sure, but that's just something that would be my first guess on why is this dude shooting at him. Now, this victim, once he was shot at, what he should have done was drive to a safe location. What is a safe location? Anywhere but where this dude is at, the bad guy. So if he could pull off, make a right, make a left, whatever, and the bad guy doesn't follow him, well, then that's a safe location, in my opinion. The bad guy, at some point during this, notably the end of this, was what I believe leaving. And the victim decided to pursue him and get down his license plate and whatnot. I understand that desire to see bad guys get caught and be held accountable, go to jail. But is it worth dying over? The bad guy could have very easily got a lucky round through the windshield and shot the victim in the face as he was following him, getting his license plate number and giving up-to-date information on where this guy was going. I would recommend that, like I said, you go to a safe spot. And a safe spot is anywhere the bad guy is not at. If you're going to feel so inclined to follow a person in a scenario like this, I would not recommend getting close enough to read the license plate, because if you are close enough to read the license plate, you're way too close. And a person can get a lucky round through the windshield and into your face. You can follow at a safe distance and be able to keep the dispatcher updated on where they turn left at, where they turn right at, etc. And be out of, I don't want to say out of range, because if you're able to see them, then obviously you are in range. But have enough of a distance there to where when you see brake lights come on, your brake lights come on. And when you both stop, there's it's very unlikely if the person would be able to hit you from where they're at. And that distance would need to be a pretty decent distance. And during daytime conditions, traffic and whatnot, you may not be able to maintain a good enough visual on someone like that and provide up-to-date, turn-by-turn information to a dispatcher. And that's fine, because, like I said, the safest place to be is anywhere where that bad guy is not at. So it would obviously be, I think, a lot easier to do that at night when there's less traffic and you can watch the brake lights and whatnot from a distance. but I wouldn't be following someone who just shot at me. I would advise against that. And it's nighttime. You might not be able to get a whole lot of information to a dispatcher if you go somewhere where the bad guy is not. You may only know it was a gray pickup truck or a red car. You might be lucky and get the make and model. Yeah, blue Mustang. But you might not get a license plate. And although that will make it very difficult for the police to investigate and catch this person, at least you're still alive and you didn't catch a round through the windshield in your face. There's also potential for you to face less than desirable outcome in a legal sense. So some states have a duty to retreat and whatnot. So obviously you may be facing some legal issues if you follow this person and then they suddenly abruptly stop and get you into a gunfight. You in those states where you have a duty to retreat, you can't really justify what you're doing following this person, and then a gunfight happens. In states that don't have those goofy laws, you're still putting yourself in a bit of a legal risk when you follow that person. And from the criminal and civil side of things, we could play this what if thing here and there, but you are putting yourself at greater risk from the legal stuff and from the physical side of it, i.e., being shot in the face. So I wouldn't recommend following people after they've just shot at you. Um, Give what information you can to the police, and hopefully they can catch them later on. Moving on from there, we'll get to the actual police part of it. So the police get there, and we have a two-man car. Now, not every agency is able to do a two-man car. For the agencies that do two-man cars, they've got obviously a lot more funding. For these smaller areas, the only time you see two people in a car is when one of them is the rookie and the other is the field training instructor. I don't know what this scenario is here. I don't know much about this agency, but two people in this vehicle, and they are responding to a call where shots have been fired. Now, obviously, this was a very dynamic scenario where they've pulled up and literally this guy just abruptly stops in the middle of the road and gets out. One of my biggest gripes in a lot of these videos is police going to calls involving gunplay and the police not getting a rifle out. I don't know if this car had a rifle in it. I would suspect that it probably did, because even your most podunk agencies out there that only have one officer, even those places have rifles in the cars. So I would suspect that there was probably a rifle in this car. Now, if that rifle was up front in the cab area, then I would like to have seen the passenger officer have that rifle out, um, and ready to rock as soon as the suspect vehicle stopped and they dismounted from their cruiser. Rifles outperform pistols every day of the week. And so if you know you're going to a gunfight, bring a rifle. Now, like I said, I don't know any details of this vehicle and if it had a rifle in it, and if so, where it was kept. But if there was a rifle in the car and it was up front where the two officers were, the passenger should have taken the rifle out of its um, lost words here. Should have taken the rifle out of its holding device and got it ready to get in the fight with it. And then as soon as that suspect vehicle stopped, that person would have been able to get out of the vehicle and get a rifle trained onto the vehicle and go from there. But we didn't see that happen. So I can't, like I said, I don't know if there was one in the vehicle or not, so I can't really harp too much on it. But if there was, then he should have got that rifle out and put it into play. It happens very quick. Guy stops in the middle of the road and then jumps out and starts shooting at the police officers. The officer on the left gets shot in the foot, and he is as cool as the other side of a pillow when he gets on the radio and announces that he's been shot. We'll replay that right now.
That's him? Okay. 22 on to 290 westbound. Shots fired. I think they got me in the foot.
He's up there.
That's him.
I mean, I don't think you can get any more calm than that. The guy just fought for his life. He got shot, and he is super calm about being shot.
Shots fired. I think they got me in the foot.
He's up there.
That's
We'll replay that again.
shots fired. I think they got me in the foot.
He's up there.
That's him.
All right. So aside from him being a badass and being shot and acting like nothing happened, we'll replay this one more time and watch the suspect as this officer fires his rounds at him. All right, so it's really hard to say how many times the officer fired because you hear a lot of gunshots, and we know that this officer is shooting, the bad guy is shooting, and the other officer is shooting. But in the amount of time that transpired from this officer getting out of the vehicle, being shot at, he returns fire, and then the backup, or not backup officer, but his partner also returns fire. From this officer going to gun and going all the way back here, shooting at the suspect is in a vertical position for like a good amount of time. Like he does not immediately go down after being shot at. And so there's no information about how many times the bad guy was shot, other than he was shot multiple times. This is almost like a scene from a nightmare where someone's shooting at you and you're shooting back at them and they don't go down. And I've had those dreams before, and I know that other people have had them too. And this is, don't know what was going through the officer's mind. It may not have even occurred to him, but man, that's a scary scene. You're shooting at this person shooting at you, and they're not going down. That had to be scary as hell. He fires multiple rounds, and we don't see until the other video shows in, and you see him kind of double over and then go down. And at that point, I don't know how many times the bad guy had been shot at before he finally went down. But it was a few rounds before he finally went down. And so I don't know if this was a case of they were shooting him and it wasn't having any effect, or they were shooting at him and completely missing. So that would then, of course, bring into the bringing to light the importance of firearms training and marksmanship. So, without a whole lot of information available, it's kind of hard to say exactly what was going on. The officer, when he dismounts the vehicle and starts taking rounds, he's backing up, creating distance, and he starts to go a little bit more towards the rear of the vehicle, and appears to be that he is trying to get himself set up to take cover behind the vehicle and have distance. But again, like I said, there's no other information. There's no AAR to talk about what he was thinking about in this moment.
Shots fired. I think they got me in the foot.
He's up there.
That's him.
Here's from his partner.
Shots fired, shots taken. Started EMS and the supervisor.
At 12:14, additional respondimiento and Mr. Sarmiento surrendered.
So go back.
EMS and the supervisor. Shots fired, shots taken. Started EMS and the supervisor.
So again, this bad guy was shot at multiple times before he finally went down. The backup officer, I keep saying backup officer when he's just the partner, he makes that dismount and he gets down and he's got a little bit of cover. Of course, a door is not really good cover at all, but he also has, as you can see right up front here, the front of the vehicle. So he does have some degree of cover between him and the bad guy. We don't see what happens after this. They cut the video pretty short, so we don't get to see the approach or anything like that. Other than that, there's really not much else to talk about. Here's the dash cam footage. I was trying to find that dash cam footage earlier, but I forgot that it was shown before the body cams. Yeah, so there's really not much else to talk about in this video. If you're a victim of a road rage incident where someone shoots at you, get the hell out of there. Go somewhere where the bad guy is not. Don't follow them. Would not recommend that at all. As far as the police using deadly physical force, obviously there were no laws broken there. From the police standpoint, they acted well within the color of the law. Didn't violate this guy's rights in any way or anything like that. The first officer backing away and appearing to go behind the vehicle to put cover in between him and the bad guy. That's a plus. Him being shot and just being super calm and chill about it. That's again, that this dude is cut from a different cloth than most people. I think a lot of people who, if they were shot, would be a lot more worked up than what this dude was. So I'd like to meet this guy, really would. Backup. All right, here I go again, saying backup officer. His partner. No problems out of what I've seen with him. All in all, I think this was a good shoot. If you like what you see in here, go ahead and give a like and a share. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.